Taurus, Taurus Maboli. Here's your reading, Taurus, for September 2020. Before we dig into your spread here and see what's going on for you this month, I'd like to relate to you some applicable astrological events that are going on and some transits that are going on for us as a collective and for Taurus. If you're a Taurus rising, this really will apply to you here, but it applies to Taurus in general. Anyway, Taurus, so on September 2nd, we have a full moon in Pisces, and this is happening in your 11th house. So your house of friends, your house of your social circles, your house of where you integrate yourself back into the collective. So there's going to be a full moon there on the 2nd, in that area of life for you, Taurus ascendant. Also too, on the 9th, we have Mars going retrograde in Aries, and this is happening in your 12th house. So the 12th house of the unknown, the 12th house of the subconscious, 12th house of your undoing, deep spiritual, spirituality and spiritual awareness, the things that happen, behind the scenes, but very much to the subconscious. So Mars retrograde in Aries will be in your 12th house. On September 12th, we have Jupiter going direct in Capricorn. This is happening in your 9th house. So your 9th house of expansion, your 9th house of we can say travel, but it's like your 9th house of expanding the mindset. The 9th house is also higher perspectives, expansion just in general. So it's going to be also to like looking at things from a higher perspective and gaining that higher perspective of life. The house of like philosophy and philosophical types of situations. On the 17th of September, we're having a new moon in Virgo, and that's happening in your 5th house. So your 5th house of romance, children, marriage, creativity, how you express yourself and how you express and show and shine your light within the world. And lastly, on the 29th of September, we have Saturn going direct in Capricorn, and that's happening also in your 9th house. So your 9th house of just expansion and other world events and travel, and it's really just education on higher perspectives and religion and things of that nature. All right, Taurus, let's go ahead and dig into your spread here. All right, Taurus, this month I'm feeling like I would say you went out on a limb or on a whim here, but I don't know. I'm kind of getting towards like you developed something, you had something, you created something, or you started something that was very like very passionate for you. It was of your passion. It was something that was or that is very important to you. It was like an endeavor, and I feel like Taurus, you were kind of keeping it to yourself. However, I feel like you kind of wanted to speak about it, or maybe you needed more information about an area of this endeavor. But it was definitely like you no longer wanted to hold back any longer regarding like keeping it either quiet or keeping it to yourself, or you no longer just wanted to hold back in general that information. I'm also getting that possibly you held back for as long as you could, but now you kind of felt like you needed like assistance or help from other people, places, and things to help you like take the next step. But it's very interesting, Taurus, because you had all the tools necessary in a sense here, but at the same time it was like maybe you felt like you couldn't obtain something, or you felt like you were maybe, I don't know, amateur, or you didn't have the correct like knowledge, or you didn't have the correct understanding of an aspect here, and you told someone about it. However, something was like I'm getting to like the code was broken, or huh, or like loyalty was broken, or something was taken from you, or hmm. Taurus, it's like the best example I can kind of give is like, those commercials that come on, like if you have an invention, you call this number and they'll help you create it, and they'll help you like, your invention come to life. But what a lot of those companies do is, they end up like usually stealing other people's ideas, and then they capitalize off of it. It's a situation kind of like that I feel here. But it was like whatever this is and whatever this person, place, or thing kind of stole from you or took from you regarding your idea, it was like you had to, in order to like implement the next step, you had to tell them or release it to them in order to obtain that next step, or require yourself to get to the next step. So it was kind of like it was like stuck between a rock and a hard place sort of here, right? But what you're moving into, Taurus, or this month, there's a real focus on trying to understand boundary lines and trying to understand other people as well as yourself have different morals, have different ethics, and sometimes I just picked up cultural maybe differences as well, but where morals and ethics and of the nature kind of they can clash. But I just feel like someone maybe got jealous or being a little bit like sneaky here, but there was definitely a clash of ideas. There was a clash of a code of ethics. It just didn't work. It was like two opposed, like your side and then the other person's side. Just it like it went awry. It was like out of nowhere, it just kind of like it clashed, and then it was like it got a little serious, and then the you started to notice that like the energy and the vibe between you and this second party was just started to like kind of crumble away. Like the plans that were initially made and your guys' roles as individuals, maybe they weren't coming to fruition, they weren't happening. Also too, Taurus, maybe for some of you Taurus out there, like you received information from the second party and maybe it was misguided information. And maybe you're catching it or you caught it and now you're kind of like, wow, what do I do now? But there's definitely like a smothering aspect here to this month moving forward, Taurus. Like either you smothered the project or they smothered you, or the messages and energies here, Taurus, they can flip and switch upon any given instance. So it's either happening to you, coming from you, or you involving yourself in other people's situations. However it applies, just apply it. But and the roles here apply that. But there's definitely like I'm getting like a baiting as well, like someone maybe you instilled and you had confidence in the second party or someone, and they kind of like betrayed that, or it was used as like a baiting technique to get this information from you. It wasn't like they were out to get you initially, but it was like they took it from you in a sense. You know what I mean? Like an opportunist. I'm kind of getting here, Taurus. It's really very 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 interesting. Definitely a clash of moral code here. Absolutely, I'm getting that really strong. And also like a clash of just like work ethic or just ethic in general. Okay, Taurus, maybe for some of you out there, like you didn't want to like cut corners, you didn't want to do anything like, like that was like stretching the truth, or you didn't want to do anything that you wanted everything to be legit and permits and all of that, you know what I mean? Follow the laws and all that, and get and be legit, but maybe the second party that you confided in or worked with did something like where they cut corners, without your consent or without you knowing, and then it was like now you're involved in it. Like it's something like that. Okay, just to kind of sum it up here towards this month, I feel it's like this month there's a real stress in trusting your intuition more, I feel, Taurus, than your logic at times. Taurus, our intuition and our logic do serve a purpose, and logic does absolutely serve a purpose, but our intuition makes the decision initially, and then our brain or our logic maintains it. You may kind of be like, what when I say this, but the mind should never make any decision. The mind should never be responsible for making any decision because the mind is not equipped to make proper decisions. And let me tell you why, Taurus. Because our mind always wants 100% guarantee, and our mind would never get 100% guarantee. So whenever there isn't a 100% guarantee, which there's really not by default, but what I'm trying to say here, Taurus, is when our mind wants 100% guarantee, and if it doesn't get it, then there will always be doubt that would come up and surface. So it'll be like on like a loop of coming up with a possible decision and then having doubt because of that, and there's always going to be that doubt behind not having 100% guarantee. It's how the psychological mind works. So then it'll be like, oh, we can try this, but oh, wait, no, but then that. Oh, let's try this. Oh, no, but then that. So the whole but then will come up, and that's the doubt. And then you'll be in a cycle, and then you're like, pretty much you're just going in circles. You're like, oh my God, I don't really know what to do. And then you just make the decision that you think is the right one, and then it usually sometimes doesn't turn, usually never turns out to be the correct one all the way. You know what I mean? So in me saying all that, Taurus, the mind should never make any decision. Our heart, our body does, Taurus. Like listening to our gut, listening to our intuition, listening to that voice, whatever you call it and however it works for you, that's what makes the decision. You can feel it in your body, Taurus. And it's really interesting here too. I'm kind of going a little bit of a rant here, but Taurus, just in general here, like when someone's born under the sign of Taurus, there's a real evolutionary purpose and need to understand survival. And survival can be very fear based just in general, right? But with survival, it's kind of like we can overthink things, and through survival and through like that fear being like a contingency in a sense for survival, or being a part of it, can cause us to not be in the body and to not trust our emotions, to not trust our intuitive hits, to not trust our gut in a sense initially, to trust the mind before the body or before the gut. Taurus, try it the other way around. You know what I mean? And I guarantee you'll learn to appreciate that. It's a process. And then to Taurus, you being down here for survival and for values and like self-preservation. Maybe it's the opposite we should try, because then usually in order for us to get to the correct, in a sense, answer to the correct alignment, we must first go through things that are not aligned, or things that are contrary to that, which then propels us and pushes us forward to the correct thing. Because in order for us to know, Taurus, just in general, what we want and what we need and what we require, we have to first experience what we don't need and what we don't want and what we do not want to acquire or require, just the process down here, duality and all of that. And kind of went on around here, Taurus, but yeah, this month it's just a real you feel like you hit a stalemate, you know what I mean? And it's very important for you to wrap this up here, Taurus. It's very important for you to look at the situation and to assess the situation with the neutral standpoint, where what I mean, you don't look at the situation where you only see the advantage or you see the disadvantage, and try not to stick to one of those sides, you know what I mean? Where take them into account, but come at it with the neutral mindset so you can understand the reality of the situation at hand. Hope that makes sense, Taurus. All right, Taurus, let's go ahead and pop out a card here for a message from your higher self. Let's see what's going on here. One card for Taurus, please. Okay. Interesting. Secret sketches. Wander and seek the familiar and friendly kind. Draw memories and sketches for others to find. Very interesting. All right, Taurus, that concludes your reading here for September 2020. Go ahead and visit the description box below for all of your services needs, and you'll find everything that you would like there regarding that area. But other than that, we'll see you hopefully next month, Taurus. And as always, God bless and love and light.